Well, hello, everybody, and welcome. I hope everybody had an amazing, safe, happy July 4th. Happy birthday, 250th. Can you believe it's already 250 years,
It's
Renee?
It's amazing. It's amazing.
Well, hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of Power Hour. I am your host, Veronica Valentino.
And I'm your co-host, Renee Rand, and we are so excited and glad you're here today.
Today, we're talking about something that sounds simple, but it could completely change the way you think about your health. Our topic is why test?
Well, let's think about it. We routinely check for things like blood pressure. Maybe you take your blood pressure every day when you wake up. We check our cholesterol. We monitor our weight. Some people even track their steps every day.
But you know what? There's other important health measurements that many people have never heard of, and even fewer have ever had tested. So today we're going to explore 4 tests that may provide valuable information about your overall health and wellness.
Yeah, we're going to be discussing the balance test, the vitamin D test, the gut health test, and the hemoglobin A1C test.
We'll talk about what these tests measure, why they matter, and who may benefit from discussing them with their healthcare provider, and how the results can help guide healthier decisions. Because when it comes to your health, knowledge is power.
Absolutely. And here's something that we say all the time. You can't change what you don't measure.
Mm-hmm.
Testing isn't about creating fear. It's about replacing guesswork with information.
And you know what? As usual, to help us break it all down, we're excited to welcome back a very special guest. He's a clinical nutritionist. He's an internationally recognized health educator. He's a best-selling author and CEO of Diet Free Life.
Oh, please join us in welcoming Robert Ferguson. Woo-hoo!
Oh, yes. Robert, thank you so much for being here today.
We're excited to learn from your experience and hear why you believe that testing can play such an important role in helping people better understand their health.
So let's jump right in. You know what, Robert? When someone asks you, why should I test? Where does this conversation exactly begin?
Yeah. Well, one, thank you for having me on your show. 2, I love the conversation that we're about to have.
Yeah.
And 3, this is one of the few times that I'm in full agreement with most physicians that testing is very important. Unfortunately, many people don't go to the doctor to get tested, but for those of us who do go to the doctor and get routine testing, whether it's annual or something that you have to go in every 2, 3, 4 months or so, there's a benefit to being tested because you become aware. And as we know, if you just look at type 2 diabetes, you have 10% of the population that lives with type 2 diabetes, which is about 30 to 40 million people in the US. But you have about 80 million people, close to 100 million, that are pre-diabetic. And 80% of that people, let's say 60, 70 million people, have no idea they're pre-diabetic, but they are. And if you knew that you were pre-diabetic, which a lot of these people don't know, you could actually do something to help put yourself in a position where you never become a type 2 diabetic.
Right.
That would be a beautiful thing.
And it's great, that you're sharing that, Renee, because a lot of people are like, hey, I know people that are diabetic. I mean, hey, if it happens, it happens. It's part of life. I'm like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. People don't realize the ramifications that come with every time you have a new diagnosis of anything in your life. Something has to change or nothing changes and it gets worse. So you have to pick. So testing is one of the best ways you can find out what's going on ahead of time and even during to see what your progress is.
Amen.
Amen.
Yep.
You know what? And if someone says, I feel fine, why would you still recommend testing?
Well, that's why you get tested, because
Yeah.
it's not about how you feel. Like Chris Johnson, who I did a highlight on, that has ALS,
Right.
like Lou Gehrig's disease. At 39 years old, former pro football player with all the money that most of us would love to have in our account.
Yeah.
He felt fine. And then one day he didn't, like overnight. And now he can't move. He can't talk. His only communication is through a computer.
Wow.
He felt fine.
Yeah.
And so he's on Good Morning America and today saying, hey, get tested, people. Get your routine checkups, because the sooner you catch things, the better chance you have of dealing with it. But what we're all talking about is stuff you can test for way before you have any symptoms of anything you don't want to happen to you.
Yep.
And actually what we're talking about today is a test to tell you can do something about many things that potentially could happen to you. And all you got to do is make sure you have enough of a certain ingredient in your cells, and there's an easy way to test for that.
Yep, absolutely. What might be the biggest mistake people make when they assume they're healthy?
That's their biggest mistake.
Yeah.
Is to assume you're healthy. I mean, that's like the biggest mistake is waiting until something happens, or, as many of my friends have experienced, go to bed and don't wake up.
Yep. So, Robert, why do you believe testing's more valuable than guessing?
I mean,
come on, let's do it.
I mean, and you're right. I mean, we are all talking about something that we are fully aware of. Those who are watching this, you're either fully aware of what we're talking about, and that's why you're here, or you're like, okay, what are these guys talking about? And so you're interested, right? We're talking about something that affects every human being walking on the planet. And that is the health of your cell membrane, what we call fluidity. And there's nothing more important than handling this. And I'm serious. Like I would debate this with anybody. Because no matter what you bring up as it pertains to health, it can't be optimized if you don't have a healthy cell membrane. And the only way to have a healthy cell membrane, the primary way, is to make sure you have enough omega-3 fatty acids in your membrane, what they call the phospholipids. There's many things that make up the membrane. And what most people don't have is enough omega-3s in the membrane. And when you don't have that, you become susceptible to a huge array of health-related conditions that people don't want.
Do you possibly have a list of those health-related issues that people don't want or may already have?
Yeah, well, it's an endless list. But we can start with the simplicity of dry eye.
Okay.
We could look at blood pressure. We could look at reducing the risk of cancer. We could look at anything that's brain cognitive related, whether it's ALS or Parkinson's or dementia, to include Alzheimer's, multiple sclerosis, anyone who has had a stroke. Don't want to have a stroke. And I've never met a person who says they want to have a stroke.
No.
But like, I mean, literally, like this morning I was texting with, there was 3 people that I had a text communication with this morning that tie into this conversation. Okay. One, I have a woman beautiful, loving, nice, kind, give to the world, think about everybody else type of person.
Mm-hmm.
And I introduced her to this test for the balance test. I introduced her to the balance oil about 3 months ago.
Mm-hmm.
She gets started, and after she saw her first test, she says, I think my husband, I want to get him on this.
Mm.
So I said, yeah, I think that's a good idea. So I sent her the test. She does the test for her husband. He starts taking the balance oil. Maybe 2 weeks later, he has a massive stroke.
Oh, Lord.
Now, she hasn't connected the dots between the stroke he just had and the test that we just had and the balance oil. What she doesn't realize is that if he was on the balance oil a year ago, the likelihood of him having that stroke would be reduced significantly. So how do you communicate that to someone?
That brings up a really good point, because
Mhm.
I had someone who started the balance oil, and they may have been in it, I want to say maybe a month, 6 weeks, and he had a heart attack. So I'm just wondering, is it to think about that from a year ago, had you started a year ago, and that really makes you think, like, wow, this can really, really prevent so many things. But wondering, okay, he had a heart attack, and I know he just started the balance oil, and I know his numbers are coming down. So, and I know they're coming up on his second test. But can you explain a little bit into that, why a heart attack may have happened once you started the balance oil?
Well, it's not that the balance oil
Yeah.
plays any role in a person having a stroke or blood clots.
Agreed.
What happens is we live in a world where we see things for what they are when they happen. We don't live in a world where most people are very preventative minded or proactive, where they're like, I'm going to do this because it reduces the chances of something happening later.
Right.
So when it comes to our blood vessels, when it comes to like all the things that would help keep our bodies less likely to experience blood clots and strokes and heart attacks, we don't do those things. And you can't do what you don't know. Right. So we live in a world right now where we live and we don't have an adequate amount of omega-3s that we normally would have had through evolution. We don't have them inside of our cells. And there's a large conversation about why that is. But the reality is, it is what it is. And so many people will hear us have this conversation. They will look at us, and we're not their doctors, and they won't do anything. And then what happens is when you get dementia or you get Alzheimer's or you have blood clots or you have a stroke, you don't go on Facebook and share it with the world.
Yeah.
If they did, more people would start to realize what we are talking about is something that resonates with everybody. But they're not. And so they keep those things private, and they keep those things close to them. And so the world doesn't know that they had a stroke or they had a blood clot or they had a heart attack.
Right.
And then, of course, the ones who pass and don't live, we never know their story.
Yeah.
Right. But I have a whole bunch of people that I know their story, and I talk to them about balance oil, and I talked to them about the balance test 1.5, 2 years ago, and they're not here anymore because they actually had a blood clot and they actually had a heart attack and they didn't make it. You know what I mean? Like, so,
Yeah,
so
really
the people
sad.
who are hearing this, I say I think there's three, I could put them into 3 compartments. You got the people who are living it, where they had a stroke or they had a spouse that had a stroke or a heart attack, and they don't really want to talk about this because they feel almost like a self-judgment because, man, I didn't know about that, and look at us, and man, I wish I did, or they're just in denial.
Yeah.
And then you have those people who think that, like my one friend who texted me this morning, well, I'm researching, and I said, I'm like, what are you researching? What are you like? Can you call me? Can we actually have a conversation?
Right.
Like, what do you think I can't share with you? Where are you researching where you're going to come up with something that is superior to what I'm trying to explain? Like what? How are you going to benefit from your research?
Mm-hmm.
So I have that friend, and guess what? She's not. And she's smart and she's intelligent, but she's not. We've gotten away from this place of like, just call somebody, have a conversation. Let me save you time and energy on all this research you're doing. Because what is she going to discover that I can't tell her right now?
I understand. You're preaching to the choir.
No, I mean, but you know what I mean? It's like
Yeah.
who are you that you feel, and it's not like I'm not belittling or putting down that she can't research, but what are you going to research that's going to either help you see the value in what I'm sharing with you or help you realize, I know better than you, Robert. This is not something for me.
Well, that's why testing is so important. I mean, we all say, test, don't guess.
Yep.
So rather than waste your time or even have the energy to find the right information to see if you're researching something that, a test would answer the question. I mean, that makes so much more sense.
Yeah. And I still don't know, because she got to the point where she's like, okay, well, if I do the test, I need to know more about this company that does the testing.
You know what?
It's like
this is
it's
such
like
a great
asking. It's like I need to know more about Quest Labs in order to go get my blood test.
Yeah,
that's really kind of silly if you think about it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's amazing because a lot of people are going to Quest Labs, and that a follow-up to today's conversation, because we're talking about 4 different lab tests. 4 different lab tests that we're talking about. But if there was one test for an annual physical, what would it be and why? If you could take one.
That's a tough one to answer, because there's so many things we need to know when we get a test. So I wouldn't just say one. I couldn't just say one.
Well, usually don't they order like a complete blood panel?
Yeah, when you do a typical blood panel, you're gonna get like your cholesterol panel. You're gonna get your triglycerides, hopefully.
Yeah, that's in a lipid, right?
Yeah. So you're gonna get that. You're gonna get hopefully your fasting glucose or your hemoglobin A1C. I think everyone should get their vitamin D test. The one they won't get is the one we're talking about primarily, is the balance test.
Yes.
But all, I think your gut health tests. So all the tests that we can make available to someone, to include the basic panel you would get with your doctor, I think are all very helpful. But here's the part that's really intriguing, right? Let's say we had 100 physicians on this call right now.
Okay.
And we talk about the importance of the balance test. I would be willing to bet if 100 physicians are on this call, all 100 of them would want to get their balance test.
I agree.
That would make sense.
They just don't know about it.
Right.
If they knew about it, they're human beings the same as all of us. They would want to know. Everybody would want to know. It's one of those things that just makes sense once you're informed and you know. If you don't know, then of course it's kind of like Christianity, right? If you don't know, or whatever your religious belief is, if you don't know what is the foundation of that religion, then you don't know. So you would have no interest in learning more about that religion, same as learning more about how these tests pertain to your health. So
I
So
agree.
true. Yeah, absolutely.
So Boundless Test is something that everybody can get because it looks at 11 different fatty acids. These fatty acids, depending on the balance of them, teaches us a lot as far as it pertains to inflammation, the potential of many health-related conditions that will show up because you live a big part of your life not getting enough of omega-3s. And the test will tell you if you're getting enough. And as Dr. Andrew Wild has said many times over the years, you cannot be in optimal health if you don't have an adequate amount of omega-3s. And that's why you would do the test to find out if you have an adequate amount of omega-3s.
Well, so what does optimal health mean compared to simply being within normal limits?
Well, optimal health is when you reduce the negatives that can come about when you don't have optimal levels of macronutrients, protein, carbs, fats, micronutrients, vitamins. So you have disease, and then you have not optimizing. So let's say like with vitamin D, people would get rickets if you didn't have enough vitamin D. And your bones would bowl. You would have to have braces on like young kids. I mean, it was crazy. It was horrible. So when the government saw this happening, they started fortifying foods with vitamin D. So we would get it through milk, you get it through cereal, you get it through bread. They would just add more vitamin D because people weren't getting enough of it through natural activation through sunlight.
Right.
And then with more and more people using sunscreen, you had even more people becoming insufficient with vitamin D. So you have disease that can happen, and then you have a lack of optimizing health that happens to most people. So you can walk around not feeling energized, your brain isn't working as well. And a lot of this is tied into not getting enough vitamin D. And so when you start going down the list, right, with omega-3s, my daughter, for instance, had really bad menstrual cramps for 5-6 years of her life. And once we corrected her omega-3s, because she was not getting enough, so she was insufficient. Now my daughter does not have menstrual cramps. And it's not like they just disappeared. The only thing that changed was she improved her omega-3 levels.
Right.
And there's, 32 of my clients had dry eye. Many people don't know that there's an abundance of omega-3 with your retina called DHA. And when you don't have adequate amounts of it, then you have dry eye. So once 32 of my clients increased their omega-3, and they knew they needed to based on the tests,
right?
Now they don't have dry eye.
That's awesome.
You know what I want to share with you? So I did my vitamin D test, and I just got my results back. So here's the vitamin D test that we do, and here's my results.
And so your results are you in a good range there?
Yeah, 76 is that in the green?
Oh, nice.
76. Yeah, I just printed them off today. I just got them back on July 3rd.
Well, you know what's cool about that is that once you know, then you know.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like let's say you have some other symptoms that come up and you go, man, I don't understand like why I'm feeling this or blah, blah, blah. You can rule out vitamin D.
Yeah.
you can rule out not having enough omega-3.
Right.
Like you're in a way better place. Like some people, like I've had people who are anemic, so they're lacking iron. And later we found out that when they improve their omega-3 levels, they absorb iron better and they no longer have an iron problem.
Mm-hmm.
So you're in a great place, Veronica.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah, you can rule it. You don't got a vitamin D issue, which is that's impacting a lot of people. You don't have a lack of omega-3. That impacts a lot of people. You're ahead of the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm excited about that. The fact that I got to meet you, and it was actually when I said to Renee, she's like, "I'm doing this oil." I'm like, "What are you talking about? What are you doing?" And she's just like, "I'm doing this balance oil." I'm like, "Okay, give it to me." I don't even think I questioned.
No, Veronica pretty much, she lets me focus first. And if I say it's okay, then she hops on board and we do it together. Yeah, it's a lot of fun that way. But, I was noticing in some of the comments that were coming up is one of the comments was that, people won't question their doctors writing them a new prescription, but they'll fuss over getting a balance test, which I agree makes no sense whatsoever. And, it's just, and then once they start on a synthetic drug, then it creates side effects that create another synthetic drug that they need, and they'll take that, but they don't go to the root to figure it all out first. And that kind of blows me away. It really does.
Well, it's like we grew up, and think about it, from the time we were born, you went to the doctor. The doctor puts you on the scale, they check your height, and then they give you advice, and they tell you what shots to take and what shots not to take. Your parents took you to the doctor. You take your kids to the doctor. We're indoctrinated, right? And so we give a huge respect to physicians because we hold them up high, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so that hasn't changed. It's kind of like, when I was in the Marine Corps, I had these 3 instructors that were my drill instructors. They were all sergeants. I remember them by name to this day, and that was many years ago. And I still have fear of them to this day because I was indoctrinated by them. And I remember about a year after being out of boot camp, I'm at this base and I run into one of my drill instructors, drill instructor Sergeant Martin. And so I saw him outside of being, a Marine in boot camp.
Yeah.
And I started sweating because I was indoctrinated. You know what I mean? Like it was still there. And even to this day, for those of us who had their parents still alive, there's a respect and a fear because you've been indoctrinated by your parents.
Yep.
Well, there's no difference between that and our doctors.
Yeah.
So that's why we listen to them. We respect them. We feel like if we need help, we go to them. We've been indoctrinated and we don't really know any other way. And so when you hear about a test, like learning about your omega-3s, you're like, wait a minute. Deep down, and I think in our brain, somewhere inside of us, we're like, well, this kind of makes sense, Robert, but my doctors never mentioned this.
Yeah.
And I think that is the untalked about component to why people have a tough time seeing the value in what we're talking about.
Well, I know we have some other questions that are in here too. Veronica, do you have some questions for us?
We do. So Joni, I guess this is Joni. She's telling us that she's pre-diabetic here. Well, we need to get her on the balance oil. I guess you are. Well, let us know if you are. Okay, so Lynn is saying hello. Let's see what we have here. Happy high risk obstetrician maybe had a high risk obstetrician yell at me for testing my urine, and I was +4, never treated, and had 11.2 pound baby with no C-section. Ouch.
Ouch.
Pinned his arm pinned his arm 6 weeks, and thank God no nerve damage. That was ALM. I don't.
Wow.
Maybe you can elaborate on that for us, Joni. We do have some questions here.
Okay.
All right, what's Jean saying? I believe that being on the balance oil has helped my dry eye. It didn't happen overnight, though. After about 3 or 4 months, I noticed a big difference. That's awesome. That's
Amen.
awesome.
Great.
Yep.
Yeah.
And go ahead, Renee. You can ask that one.
Sure. Kathy's asking, is eating healthy enough, or should people verify what their bodies are actually doing?
Well,
don't
one,
test.
one, you got to ask. All right, whenever this comes up, I always say, so how are we defining eating healthy?
Mm,
Because everybody will define it differently,
That's true.
right? Some people will say eating healthy is avoiding meat.
mhm,
Others will say eating healthy is everything organic. Like, so everyone has a different definition of what eating healthy is. But based on what she's saying, you can eat as close to nature as possible.
mhm,
But what we're talking about is not what to avoid to be healthy. We're talking about what you may be missing to be healthy.
mhm,
And most people, 99.5% of all people in the United States and Canada, are not getting enough omega-3s. You're
mm.
not. And it's not just consuming it.
Right.
It's knowing that you're not based on when we do the balance test. So everyone watching this video or here on this live, you want to get the balance test.
Yep.
Other than that, you're just guessing and you're hoping and you're assuming.
Yep.
And why live your life assuming, guessing, and hoping when we can find out like now and in 120 days completely correct it?
Mhm.
It's amazing. It really is. Alyssa's asking, can someone eat what they think is a healthy diet and still have a poor fatty acid balance?
Absolutely. And that's most people.
Yeah.
Like most, and if you listen to other people, and that means you remove the test. That's what I'm telling my friend. I go, look, you can research all day, every day, nonstop. It's not going to change the fact that you do not have an adequate amount of omega-3s inside of your cells. And I'm sorry. And here's why I go deep with these guys. I go, look, because a lot of these people I'm referring to, and this person I'm referring to, she's very knowledgeable. She's been a nutritionist for years. She's been on magazine covers. Okay, I'm sorry that I'm the one bringing this to your attention. But you don't know what you don't know. And yes, you've been doing this for 30 years, but you still don't know. It doesn't take away what you don't know. So go open up your biology book and get yourself reacquainted with reality as it pertains to physiology and biology. You are not getting enough omega-3s on a cellular level. Like, how else do I mean, Philly people keep it real. And you're a Philly person, Veronica. And you've been around. Like, how do you just look someone in the face and just keep it Philly real?
It's just like, just shake my head. Like, I can't believe it. I mean, I have a tough one with my daughter.
But you know what I'm saying? Like, do you slap them upside the head? Like, how do you get them to wake up?
Lots of times we don't get them to wake up. That's part of what the challenge is. It is a challenge. Bob is asking, what's one health measurement you think deserves much more attention?
The one we're talking about, Bob. The balance. I mean,
I know you can repeat questions too.
I think that's a great question that he's asking.
Yeah,
he could have just came into the show.
Yeah,
Right.
But yeah, I would say, dude, everyone should know their balance test results. Everybody. Okay.
Caitlin is asking, why do you say our cell membranes tell a more complete story than yesterday's meals?
Well, it's kind of like a hemoglobin A1C. A hemoglobin A1C is not what is showing up in your blood. So when they look at sugar,
Right.
the reason why they look at a hemoglobin A1C is that it literally tracks how much sugar is in your cells over a 3 to 4 month period.
Mm.
And that's what confirms if you are a true type 2 diabetics. That's like the gold standard. The cell membrane, when you look at it, we know that it needs to be comprised of certain molecules, ingredients like omega-3s, and that when 8 to 12% of what's in the membrane is made up of omega-3s, we know that's when you have a very healthy cell membrane. And the membrane, it plays a huge role in what happens at a cellular level as far as your health. Your membrane dictates what comes inside of the cell and what leaves the cell as far as waste. If you don't have enough omega-3 in the cell membrane, then you disrupt what is available to get inside of the membrane, to include nutrients and oxygen, as well as what leaves, because the membrane is selective and protective. So if you don't address that, because we are living in a world today where most people don't have healthy cell membranes, you then become susceptible to a whole bunch of health-related conditions because that membrane is not as healthy as it could be.
Mm.
That's it.
Hmm.
And doctors are not trained on this. They're not talking about this. It's not part of their indoctrination, but it's a
Right.
modern day problem that we are experiencing. It's like a pandemic. It's
Yeah.
it's like a hidden, silent pandemic. And any doctor that you would bring on this call, and if they listen to our whole conversation, they will agree.
Yeah.
I've never met a physician that didn't agree. They
Yeah.
just don't have the answer to the solution, which we have the answer to the solution. They don't. And they don't make money sharing the answer to the solution. So that's
Exactly.
why, you know what I mean? So that's why it's not like right in front of them and something that they do on a daily basis.
Or that they jump on the bandwagon for the same
Mhm.
reason. Yeah.
Yep.
John is asking, how are healthy fats connected to brain health, heart health, and healthy aging? Can improving your fatty acid balance benefit people of any age?
All ages, all people, all moments of time. Yes. Like you have what they call, John, you have essential fatty acids, which means your body doesn't make them. So you must consume them.
Mm.
And they're essential because they contribute toward life in all facets of life. When you look at omega-3s, they are essential. So you must consume them, which means if you don't have an adequate amount, you can be insufficient, which is most people. And that just means you're not optimizing your life.
Mm.
And when you're not optimizing, you become susceptible to all the things that come with being insufficient. So my daughter had really bad menstrual cramps. Someone else may get dementia. Other people will have blood clots. So omega-3s and what we're talking about, it ties into many areas of your health. I mean, we know through the Do Health study that if you don't have an adequate amount of omega-3, vitamin D, and exercise, you increase the risk of invasive cancer by over 60%.
Mm.
That alone tells you the importance of omega-3s. Neuroscientists will tell you that if you don't have an adequate amount of omega-3s, you have an increased risk of dementia and Alzheimer's that's 50%. And that's conservative. So let's say John is sitting here and he's listening to us have this conversation. He's got a lot of questions, but he never fixes his omega-3 issue because he does have one. He just doesn't know because he hasn't tested. And in 5 years, 10 years, John gets dementia. Well, John, once you get dementia, you got dementia, meaning there's no going back. There's no do-over. And because you got dementia, that wasn't because of one meal or one weekend or 1 week or even 1 year. That means you went years without having adequate amounts of omega-3. And then it manifests itself into you getting dementia. So why wouldn't anyone like John want to get tested and want to deal with that and improve it so he can at least reduce that risk? So that's the big question. So my question to John would be like, why wouldn't you be tested all? And maybe John's been tested, but I'm thinking John's been here before.
Yeah.
And John has questions, but is John someone who takes action, or is he just someone who just asks questions?
He's actually got another question up there, Renee.
Okay, because if John gets dementia and he never did anything about it, that's what we're up against in this world that we live in. Is people are aware, they heard, but they do nothing. And then and unfortunately, if that happens to John, which I hope it doesn't, if it did, we won't hear about it. It's not like John's going to come back in 5 years and we're doing this talk. He goes, man, I remember you guys told me about that. I just got diagnosed with dementia. He's not going to do that.
Right.
Because he's dealing with some real shit at that point. You know what I mean? Like once you get it, then that's a different animal.
No going back.
Yeah. Now, if I get dementia, it ain't going to be because I didn't have enough omega-3.
Yeah. There you go. We got that one down.
All right, yeah, like at least I'm not concerned about that one at all.
John is following us from the Faces of Veterans, and he wants to know if omega-3s are called essential, why do you think so many people go through life without ever knowing whether they have enough?
Because that's the way the system is designed. In 1960, John, people were not living with insufficient omega-3 levels. We know that scientifically. The way the soil is, the way the food is, the way the animals are fed, that's changed. In 1960, the average person was around 3-to-1 to 5-to-1. That first number is based on omega-6. Second number is omega-3. 3-to-1 or lower, so 3, 2.8, 2.5, 2, 1.6. Anything under 3 means you're in balance. So most people were in balance in 1960. With the shifts of foods and how foods are raised, fed, what's in the foods we consume today, we're consuming a significant imbalance of omega-6 to 3. So most people today are around 20-to-1 instead of 3-to-1 or lower. And as I was talking to you guys, I think last week or the week before, Dr. Simopoulos, when she was in Crete in Greece, she looked at the eggs, and the eggs over there, when they looked at the balance of omega-6 to 3, they were like 1-to-1.
It's amazing.
She boiled some eggs, brought them back to the United States, tested them, which they tested also over there. And when they tested them in the States, they were 20-to-1.
Wow.
So from the eggs to the meat to the everything that we're eating, the packaged foods, you name it, we're out of balance. And therefore, on a cellular level, we're out of balance.
Right.
That's how we got here, John. And the government and your doctor, unfortunately, they're not even informed. Trust me, I'm talking to doctors all the time, and they're like, oh, wow. Oh, interesting. Well, how can I get that? Like, that's where they're at, because they're not even aware of it.
Right.
You're not, like, I would say, John, ask your doctor if he knows or she knows who Dr. Simopoulos is. And I would be willing to bet they don't. And she's the most cited, revered, highly referenced physician in the world today as it pertains to this. She's 93 years old and still working.
I think I spelled her name right.
Right? So, like, think about that. So why is it that every endocrinologist I talk to, I go, hey, you're aware of the work of Dr. Simopoulos? They go, no, Dr. Who? They don't know. And if they don't know, they don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like we give these doctors so much respect, but they're working. They got families. They can't know it all.
Mm-hmm.
So they get certain journals and they prescribe, and that's their job. They were like positioned and trained to diagnose and prescribe. That's what most doctors are designed to do, unless they spend their whole career removing gallbladders or doing surgery or specializing as a gastroenterologist, right? Or doing heart transplants. If you're doing heart transplants, do you really think they have the time or they make time to learn what we know about nutrition?
Mm.
No.
Oh, no, absolutely not.
No, they wake up, they go to work, and they're like, I got 7 surgeries today. I got 3 surgeries today. That's what they're thinking about. Oh, my kid has a baseball game. I never spend time with them. I need, like, they don't have time. They haven't had sex with their wife in 5 months. I mean, they are like overwhelmed.
We're only getting every third word, Robert. So I heard sex in there somewhere.
I heard it all.
Well, there you go. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Oh man. Okay. I know we have some more questions here, so go ahead, Alicia.
Alicia, we already had that one.
Hold on.
Didn't we? Yeah.
Here you
we
go,
already had that one.
Alicia.
All right. So how about? All right.
Alicia's asking.
Hold on.
Oh.
Alicia's asking, can someone have a normal glucose reading but still have an elevated hemoglobin A1C?
Okay, so if someone, all right, I was gonna read. Can you put the question back? All right.
Hold on a minute.
Sure.
Here, Alicia's asking.
Can someone have a normal glucose reading but still have an elevated hemoglobin A1C? I would say yes. Remember that hemoglobin A1C is the gold standard to confirm whether or not you are a type 2 diabetic. A fasting glucose is a shortcut, a snapshot of the potential of you being a type 2 diabetic. But the hemoglobin A1C is where they look at that as the foundation to confirm if you are a type 2 diabetic.
And we have a test for that too. The hemoglobin.
We do. We have that too.
We have that too. Because Leonora is asking about the tests. Renee, you say it?
Yep. If someone's balance test, vitamin D test, gut health, and hemoglobin A1C all improved, what changes might they notice in everyday life? How are these 4 tests connected?
Well, if someone got all of those tests and they're all improving, I would say congratulations. Like 100%. Because there's so many things that could be impacted, right? So you have people who don't have get up and go, and that's a symptom of not having enough vitamin D. You may have someone like my daughter who has menstrual cramping, which is a symptom of not having an adequate amount of omega-3s. You may have someone who's lightheaded. They don't even realize they're a type 2 diabetic. And the hemoglobin A1C, if that improves, then those symptoms that people are experiencing disappear. So, I mean, for me, I've had all of these tests that she's mentioning, right? So my balance test came back great. My vitamin D is great. My gut health is great. I'm not a diabetic, so I don't have that concern. I'm good.
Mm-hmm.
As far as these things now, if my vitamin D came back not so good, and let's say that I'm like, man, my sleep is off. Could
Right.
that be because my sleep is off? Could be. Who knows? But the goal is like the things that we can test, the things that we can measure and improve, that's the gold. Because then you can reduce, you don't got to go, okay, yeah, my sleep, I don't know. It's just maybe it's just life. It's not vitamin D, it's not omega-3s, it's not blood sugar, but you can rule those things out. That's the power of it. And maybe it's something else. Maybe it's mold in the house is causing problems.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. Yep. So there's a follow-up question from Leonora. Which one of these tests is the most misunderstood?
Okay.
Well, I know this is Lee. She's a nurse for 40 years, so I know she's on the balance oil. So I was talking to her about the test, and she was joining us.
I would say, let me see, misunderstood. Well, we know hemoglobin A1C is not misunderstood. I would say our gut health tests, most doctors wouldn't know. They wouldn't even have a clue on where to start, most of them.
Yeah.
But we're here to explain what the test means. So gut health, I would say most doctors, anything that ties into that, that's not their expertise. And of course, omega-3s is not their expertise. It's not part of their training.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They're aware of it, but it's one of those things. Like when I was talking to a doctor yesterday, it's one of those things where it's not even in their thinking, right? So like when I was talking to this doctor yesterday, I was telling him about my daughter, and I was talking about this one client I had who was anemic. And then he started like researching as I was talking to him. He's like, wow. He goes, this is fast. I go, yes, it's very fascinating. I said, because as a doctor, which literally means to teach, you're not teaching anymore. You're just diagnosing and prescribing. So yes, this is fascinating to you because it's not part of your wheelhouse. So I'm getting you all excited. But if you put all your energy into helping your patients with this, you're going to run out of money. You're going to go bankrupt because they don't make money telling you that you need to improve your omega-3s. There's nothing to prescribe.
Right.
And I mean, this is a sobering reality for a lot of people, but it is a reality. You must become your own health advocate. Otherwise, you're just waiting on them to tell you when you got other problems.
Right, right.
So true.
So she's also adding, which test do you wish insurance companies emphasize more? And do you see these tests ever being covered by insurance?
I don't even know how to answer. It's like I love how like Lenora and others are still hopeful that our healthcare system is going to do the right thing, but they're not. So your insurance is probably not going to cover any of these tests. I mean, at one point, not long ago, the insurance companies and the healthcare system was really behind vitamin D. But if you haven't noticed, they just stopped.
Yeah.
Because they're not making money. That is like, how are you guys help me get this? How do I get Lenora and everyone to realize it's not that people don't care. It's not that people don't have love in their heart. The system, the healthcare system is not designed
Mm-hmm.
to do what is best for you. So we're talking about something like with omega-3s, for instance, and the balance test that is looking out for you.
Right.
The healthcare system is not designed to look out for you. It is designed to be profitable.
Yep. Yep.
And if yes, they can help you, but it's designed to be profitable,
Mm-hmm.
which means that's more important than you.
Yep. And people really need to take it upon themselves to look out for themselves and their health and wellness. It's
So is there another way to say that? Like
Yeah.
how else can I say that?
No, it's true. It's about money. I mean, helping people in their situation and the way they get paid, that doesn't pay their mortgage. If they're not making any money referring something, they're not getting paid. So,
Right.
I mean, the business side of that, I certainly understand. I just think it's very sad that that's the situation that we're in when it comes to our healthcare.
And that is the situation.
Yep.
And guess what? If all three of us are no longer here tomorrow, that's still going to be our situation.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely.
So
That's an interesting question. Are these tests and products eligible for FSA or HSA plans?
oftentimes they are, because depending on where you get your FSA and your HSA cards from,
Yeah.
like
it's a
you can
credit
go
card.
online, you can buy supplements
Mm-hmm.
that usually are covered. So it's been mixed. I've seen people use their FSA and their HSA to buy balance oil, and I've seen people say that it didn't go through. So it's different. And I've been able, because of my own business structure, to work with people with FSA and HSA. So there's ways around it. So if someone's having a problem, or if you guys have someone who wants to use theirs, just reach out to me, and then I can help you figure it out.
Oh,
Yeah.
awesome.
Some of them show up as credit cards
Mhm.
with the FSA and HSA plans. Good question. Good question. Wow. We had so many questions. We have
We
a lot
did
of people here
today.
joining us today. Robert, do you have any last words about these 4 amazing tests that we have?
Wow, look at you. You got all 4 of them right there.
I'm ready. Well, I took all 4 of them actually. And my gut health, my gut health was it was okay. Could it come up a little bit? Yeah, it could, but it's probably time for me to take another gut health test. And my hemoglobin went from a 6.7 to a 5. So you know what? I'm on the mark for this.
No, you've done great. You definitely have done great. Both of you guys have done great in so many areas, and we all are trying to get the word out and help people. As you know, Veronica, and you gave me good feedback on this, is and you'll like to hear this, Renee, is that I'm trying to finalize our short video script.
Awesome.
And every time I look at it, and I know it can't be perfect. We got to start somewhere. So I'm working on that. And my goal in the next day or 2 is to have it finalized and then do the first version of it. And for those of you who are hearing me talk about this, I'm talking about it's a video script that will help you see the value in the balance tests.
Yeah.
And
that'll be amazing.
Yeah. So the test and then the balance oil, we know helps you improve your scores on the test.
Yep.
Now, you don't have to take the balance oil. You can still improve your levels, but you're going to spend about $300 to $500 a month buying really good fish. So this is a great example of the importance of supplementing.
Yep.
So that's I'm working on that. That's why this was a great conversation to have today, because it actually helps me, and I'm open to any advice. You gave me some good advice, Veronica, on how Like, if you only have so many words, what can we say to help everybody? And maybe
Absolutely.
John can help us with this.
Yeah.
Lenora, help us. What do you need to hear?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you said Lenora got the test and she's on the balance wheel.
Yeah, she is. She is.
But what does John need to hear to take action?
Okay. All right.
That's my question. What have I not? Because John's heard us talk.
Yep.
Yes.
What else does he need to hear? Or what proof do we need to put in front of him? Because he has great questions, but what does he need to hear in order to take action?
Yeah, agreed. I really wanted to sit down. You wrote a lot, and I really wanted to sit down because I did take that advertising and marketing class. And you know what? I have to send you one of my ads that I sent. I know I sent it to Renee, and it was like really hit home to where you had it. It was condensed and looking at every little line and breaking it down. And I was just really reading through that and like, well, how would I feel about this and how would I feel about that? And looking back on my notes and stuff that I took from the advertising class to get that perfect ad, that little 5-minute ad. And that's why I like when the program that I sent you, where it led you, and the presentation was really good. And it, do I want this? Do I want to contact them? Do I want to be a partner? Do I want to use the product? Which it went from step to step to step to step. So I really enjoyed reading that. And, I can't wait till it gets here to us. Amen.
Absolutely.
5 minutes. Oh my gosh. It was a really great conversation. You know what? And Robert, thank you for sharing your knowledge again, helping us better understand why testing matters. Today's message is simple. Don't guess when it comes to your health. Test, learn, understand. The more you know about your body, the better equipped you are to make informed decisions alongside your healthcare provider. And even, when you do the balance test, take your results to your doctor, to your provider, and let them look over everything. I gave all my results to my primary care physician, and you know what? She's on the product today. And she was amazed with it. And just doing the test and doing the oil. You know what? If you found today's conversation helpful, please like, share, follow, subscribe, and join us again, because we will have Robert back here with us next Monday with another great, amazing topic. And he has just so much information. Who knows? Oh, I think all three of us might be together at one point.
Amen.
It's awesome.
Any last words, Robert?
Nope. Get tested. If you guys have more questions, we're open to it. Send it our way. Again, John and those who have not, but they've been a part of these conversations, let us know. Email me, email the ladies. What do you need to hear that would move you to take action, instead of just keep asking questions, which is great, but what is next for you?
Awesome. I want to thank everybody for being here. Have an amazing day, and we will talk to you soon. Have a good day, everyone.
All right. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye.